So we're going to go ahead and just get this shit show on the road real quick because we're calling you out again, John Carpenter.
Hi.
We're calling you out again.
What did you do?
What in the world? What did you do?
Now you have to excuse me for my lack of energy where I normally am quite pumped about these things. I do not feel good today, so I'm practicing social distancing today. But John Carpenter being one of the ups and downs roller coasters.
He is the most roller coastery guy ever.
Throughout time of films.
And we had discussed prior, why is it when John Carpenter puts out something that is so atrociously horrific, train wreck, blood, guts, what did you do bad? We were trying to figure out why. Why is it so bad? Like, you know it's bad.
But it's so bad.
But you almost feel hurt and betrayed. And that's because when Carpenter puts something good out, he puts something good out.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, and you put on the list, part of the bad movies, vampires being one. We did do a review.
We did do vampires.
That's actually where we got this recommendation.
We got 50-50 on that one. He likes it for nostalgic reasons.
She does not.
James Woods.
Yeah,
really?
I mean, come on.
James Woods?
I know. However,
yeah,
like you said, though, when he puts out a great movie, it is a phenomenal
because he's the father of Halloween.
Yeah.
However, Halloween 3.
Why?
What in the world?
Why?
What went wrong?
Why is it even part of the series?
What went wrong? And then let's throw in Escape from LA, Escape from New York, Starman, Big Trouble in Little China, The Terrors of Hallow Eve. What in the world were you? These were, in my opinion, the worst things to ever put out. And this particular one we're working on actually, according to an interview with Carpenter, burnt him out to the point where he was ready to leave Hollywood. And 9 years later would return to make The Ward, which I have not seen that one.
I haven't seen that one either.
But again, I hear 50-50 on it.
And this movie that we're doing today is actually, was it 20 years old, 21 years old?
It was done in 2001.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This isn't so much, and I sit on the fence with this. Is it sci-fi or is it horror?
It's definitely sci-fi.
Because I personally think it's more sci-fi than anything.
It's definitely
But the
sci-fi.
gore puts it up over the top into the horror genre.
Which is very minimum. It's really...
It is very minimal gore.
Yeah.
It really is. It's more self-mutilation gore than anything else.
And even at that, it's very minimum.
It's very subdued.
What we're talking about today, from our request on YouTube...
John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars.
2001. Starring
Natasha Henstridge from the...
What was it? Many sci-fi
was it Species?
Movies. Species.
From the Species.
I mean, it's so many.
It's got Ice Cube in it.
Yes.
And at one point in 2006, Ice Cube referred to this movie, which he starred in, as unwatchable. You got Jason Statham.
Yep.
With hair. Jason Statham with hair.
It's so weird to see him with hair, and then also not as bulky as he is now.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't total. I don't think he had quite tapped his badassery yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, what I did like about this movie, though, and as we progress throughout the movie, it's almost like you had stated comic book style.
It did. It had a very... I almost got kind of a Sin City vibe out of it.
Kind of, yes.
You know, I really did. The way that they would cut away scenes and do the quick wash.
And then also repeat scenes to show a different point of view of what was going on.
And I kind of did like that portion. Rather than just taking the character's word for it, they're going to relive the other person's POV, which I kind of liked that. I thought that was interesting. It was a nice touch, but it wasn't enough to save the movie.
And so the movie's starting out with Natasha's character, Lieutenant...
Melanie. I missed the last name.
Melanie. Okay, so you have her who has just woken up and is basically being tried to find out what has happened because her entire crew is gone. So she's being called forth to this witness stand, essentially, where she is being, asked what has happened. Now, they're on Mars.
Yes, this is
at the very start.
This is set in 2176, and Martian police are sent to pick up a dangerous criminal, played by Ice Cube, which would be James Desolation Williams. at a remote mining post. And it turns out all the inhabitants of this mining post have basically been possessed by an ancient alien race that they released by accident via way of explosions for, digging mines.
Yeah. So you have the long, basically, intro of finding out Natasha's character is a secret drug addict.
Yeah, she's a closet addict.
Which, it's basically essentially like popping ecstasy.
But it's not a very good secret because
everybody-
Pam Grier, she plays Commander Helen, is her higher up.
And knows
This
about
character notices it, points it out. Numerous other, even the rookies, numerous other,
So she doesn't hide it very well.
Yeah, no, she's a really bad closet addict.
Yeah, so they show up to this mining facility via train. Right?
Yes. Oh, and the train was really kind of cool looking.
The train was cool. It was like this.
It was like a big old armored car.
Yeah,
it was kind of neat.
It was pretty neat. They did an alright job with that. So they show up to this campsite where they get out and basically are expecting to be welcomed there to pick up this prisoner, and there's nobody around.
This is where I get that spaghetti western feel. You walk into this desert town.
Yeah.
And you expect the tumbleweeds to come through. So they're walking through and there is no one. This town should be bustling. There's casinos. They discuss the casinos and the bars, or they call it a cantina.
Yeah.
So again, it gets that kind of spaghetti western sort of feel to it.
And then they're also bringing in the background story of Ice Cube's character, Desolation.
Desolation.
And you have the multiple different stories. He killed 7 people, hung them upside down, and decapitated them.
He's been detained and is going to be going on trial because they're saying that he was responsible for the murders at another mining camp further down the road, where these people had been skinned, mutilated, hung upside down, and on and on. And the only connection that they have is he showed up with a whole bunch of stolen money.
Yeah, and that's all.
That's it. That was their connection.
And then you have this rando doctor that appears that they find.
Yeah.
Through the exploring of the different areas of town, and she essentially comes off really skittish. She's in the jail. She just put herself in jail with the other inmates that are
basically
there.
stating it was the safest place to be.
And so you have this background. And
yeah, that would be Joanne Cassidy, Dr. Whitlock.
Yes, Dr. Whitlock.
Yeah.
And so then they need to go out and obviously explore more of the town, and
they need to assess the situation.
Spread up into groups, and they find Ice Cube. He's in the jail cell, and this is where the movie just
basically
goes away.
They have scanned this entire town. They have discovered blood, gut, gore, murder all over the place. And as the story starts to unfold, different characters begin to pop in, which would consist of Uno, Dos, and Tres, which happen to be the little compadres of Desolation.
Which you don't find out till later, but yeah.
They start pointing out, hey, we were down near the mining site. We saw what's going on down there. Basically what it is they broke a seal to a door, which released this red dust. Yes. And this dust just moves along, which it was kind of cool to watch. The graphics on that was really neat. The way it rolled.
Came down the canyon.
Yeah.
And kind of went in.
Kind of like fog. He explained that they saw the people beginning to mutilate themselves, acting really bizarre. And then they started...
nails through their face and...
Then they began going after those who didn't change. But they don't really go into explanation as to why some people were possessed and some didn't.
Yeah, it's a possession thing. Now... with this possession, if that flesh capsule dies,
bag,
then alien dust goes and finds a new host.
Yes, at one point, Natasha's character, Melanie, she ends up becoming possessed because somebody was stupid and released it from one of the prisoners inside the jail. What do? What any normal person would do in said situation. They throw her ass outside. But Jason Statham's character, Jericho, decides, here, let's go ahead and give her some of her drugs.
What was it? Anything
it'll give it anything that's in there, it'll give it a ride or something.
Yeah.
Well, apparently this is the key to kicking said possession from
out.
body.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was a little cliche. It was very expected. It really was very expected.
I mean, as soon as he started to basically hint that he was going to give her drug,
you knew where it was going.
And they focused on that drug throughout the beginning part of the movie, like here and there, and like Ice Cube stole it, she got it back.
Yeah.
Like different things like that. Then you have where they showed like what we had stated, the mass population that got infected. They wake up, they start mutilating themselves, like you said.
And they act weird at first, like looking at their hands like they've never had hands.
Yeah, like they're
or
all
anything.
tripping or something. But then you have the warlord. The boss.
Big Daddy Mars
is his actual character name.
He looks like a Kiss roadie reject. He's like a goth Gene Simmons.
And they even explain like they chipped away their teeth. And
if Gene Simmons and Marilyn Manson had a baby, that would be Big Daddy Mars.
Because he was a lot taller in both of them.
He was a very big man, wasn't he?
It almost reminded me of the main vampire on Vampires.
Oh,
the height
yeah.
Thing.
He was a very big man.
He was a big man. Anyways, all painted out, and when they speak, it's all gibberish. It's literally like
you have
no
idea what they're saying.
Weird.
Go to your local preschool and just sit down and listen to the children talk to each other. This is what they sounded like. Like, there was no creativity with the dialect.
No, there's no
like it was
pitch
rushed.
Tone or anything. It was just literally gibberish.
And all the possessed, once they had mutilated themselves and whatever, they had a very Mad Max kind of look.
Absolutely.
They really did.
Absolutely.
Which was cool, but at the same time, it was like, there's no creativity to it. It's been done. Simpsons did it.
So you have this mass, war coming basically to come and kill these people. And of course you have the whole typical, prisoners then,
they've been deputized.
They're deputized. They're along with the cops now, and it's all, to save each other. Very typical. And the plan is then to blow up said mining facility with everybody in there, which they had already figured out that if you kill the host, the gas thing just goes and tries to find something else. But they're hoping to be far enough away to.
And it's not like you can just shove the body off to the side and leave the person in prison, because once the body gives out, the dust releases again. Honestly, it's one of those, there really is no way to be rid of this possessive, what's the word, virus, fungus,
but
host.
The final, and when I say it takes a long time to get to this final scene, the final battle scene, it really does take a long time.
We were kind of doing the foot tapping thing, like, is this coming to an end anytime soon?
So they pull the train up, and again, they're trying to blow up said mine, and you have all the, possessed warriors attacking the train. Well, they start throwing out these grenades and stuff like this. And I promise you, out of the 30 grenades that they throw, all there is people jumping as explosions happen, and not a single one dies.
There was one death out of the entire movie that was worth it. Bashira, played by Clea Duvall. She was in The Faculty.
Yes, yeah.
She's sitting there just trying to badass it, firing away at the attackers
with her hand
all gangbanging looking.
Like
it's so bad.
It's so
and
funny.
All of a sudden, a saw blade comes up and lops her noggin off. That was the best death out of the whole movie for me. That was the best one.
It was pretty good, and it was like one of those where you knew it was coming a half second before it happened, and then it happened, and you're completely satisfied that she got decapitated. But yeah, the battle scene for this movie was atrocious.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. Nobody died except for her. And then, so you have Natasha and Ice Cube on the train getting away. You have a couple of stragglers that got on the train too that they fight and kick off.
Back to that spaghetti western feeling.
And you have the typical, victory. The bomb goes off, they're on the train, they go away. And this is where, she's knocked out because she got sliced up. Ice Cube handcuffs her to the train.
disappears.
He gets away, and she's left going to the station, where then at the beginning of the movie, she wakes up and she's basically going to justify
everything
what's
loops
happened.
back. She's trying to explain to her higher-ups what was going on. They excuse her. She goes back to her room. And all of a sudden, she's woken up by a whole bunch of noise because guess what the dust did? It traveled to the city. And who comes busting through the door with a shiny weapon?
With a
chrome.
Completely chromed out SMG.
Total gangbanging.
Dude, I'm telling, like, it was so shiny you could see the like, it was a mirror effect chrome. It was so funny, Ed. Like, why? Why did they do that?
It's something that a newbie... It's something that a newbie would show up to a paintball tournament with.
And, you know, Ice Cube throws the gun to her, and, you know, she locks and loads, and he's like, and he said something like, "Here we go again," or
"It's what we do best."
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's where it concludes. Now, when I looked at the list of the stars in this, I even saw Robert Carradine, who played one of the officers on the train.
Oh, right.
He's from Revenge of the Nerds. That's a pretty big name.
Yeah.
You know, you had so many big name actors in there that you actually expected this to be pretty decent. And then with a budget of $28 million, it did not even pull in the revenue.
It was like half
to compensate. It was like 14 something. Did not even compensate the bottom line. Yeah. They didn't even break even. It was a box office flop.
Yep, complete bust.
Flop.
Complete bust.
This movie was horrible.
It's a 1 star for me, all the way. And John Carpenter, I am a fan of your work. Like I said, Roller Coaster. Away,
when it's good, it's good,
solid, man. But yeah, this one I will never ever.
There is no in between with John Carpenter. It's either really good or it sucks.
And we watched some shitty movies, and it's not even one to watch for entertainment value.
It wasn't even entertaining. The acting was bad. The lines, oh my god, the dialogue
and the
one-liners were so cheap. I've heard dad jokes better than these one-liners.
Yeah.
And like I said, even Ice Cube sat there and flat said, "It's unwatchable." He was embarrassed by it.
Yeah, and this is young Ice Cube, 21 years ago.
Carpenter tried to turn around and say in an interview later down the road, "Oh, it was meant to be satire." Bro, you made a bad movie. Just flat out say, "Yep, I made some crap."
Yep.
Don't sit there and try to make an excuse for it and say that you're upset that people didn't understand your satire, that it was supposed to be over the top, tongue in cheek. No, just be honest, man. Just be honest. You made a crappy movie, and it's okay, because you know what? You got 10 tons of really good ones.
Awesome ones.
That you can throw back. Just take accountability for your actions, and please explain to us, Halloween 3, what the hell? Could you please explain Halloween 3 to us, because it had nothing to do with the rest of the Halloween series. I'm angry.
Yes, I know, and you're ranting.
I'm angry.
1 star for me.
1 star indeed.
So, yeah, that's our conclusion.
I can't believe we own that.
Yeah, you owned it.
I won it in the divorce. It somehow managed to end up inside my little collection of DVDs during a divorce.
So bad. So yeah, that's not one we're going to watch again.
Nope.
Thank you guys so much on joining us for this episode of Gore to be Gore. John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars 2001.
It's so painful. I mean, I would so much rather deal with anal flamage shit after Taco Tuesday and then wipe my butt with a piece of balsa wood than watch that again. You all have absolutely fantastic, pleasant nightmares.